You're watching Forsaken Joe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy the story. Let's begin.
It was supposed to be a laid-back weekend. One last joint celebration before the big day. A camping trip with a few close friends, beer, a bonfire, and no drama. That's what Kara had pitched it as. But standing there under a sky full of stars, half drunk and already sweating by the fire, I had no idea this was the night that would blow my entire life apart. My name's Jason. I'm 28. I live in Bend, Oregon. And it all started on that damn camping trip. Tessa handed me a solo cup and grinned. "Last weekend of freedom," she shouted like it was spring break. I smirked, already buzzing from the bourbon someone had passed around earlier. "I'm getting married, not sentenced." People laughed. Tessa leaned closer, touched my arm when she laughed like I'd told the funniest joke she'd ever heard. I looked around the fire, searching for Kara. Couldn't see her. Just the flicker of firelight on the trees and a few of our friends joking across the clearing. Something felt off in my gut. Couldn't tell if it was the booze or just wedding nerves kicking in. Kara had been quiet all day, more tense than usual. She brushed it off when I asked earlier, said she was just tired from work. But even then, I could tell something was bothering her. "Quick note. Before we start, how's your day going and where are you joining from?" Tessa didn't let up. Every time my drink got low, she filled it. She kept bumping into me, laughing too loud, leaning just a little too close. I should have said something. I should have walked away. But I didn't. I kept making stupid little jokes, kept matching her energy, even though I knew better. Later that night, I saw Kara and Tessa talking by the edge of the trees. It didn't look friendly. Kara's face was tight, arms crossed. Tessa was waving her arms, saying something fast. Kara suddenly turned, stormed off into the woods, and didn't even look back at me. I just stood there like a moron. I should have gone after her. Should have checked if she was okay. But I didn't. Tessa came back to the fire and plopped down next to me like nothing had happened. "She's so damn uptight sometimes," she muttered, pulling her hoodie tight. I looked toward the trees Kara disappeared into, but I stayed put, like a damn idiot. Tessa poked at the dying fire with a stick, the embers spitting and crackling in the dark. Most of the tents were zipped shut by now. You could hear soft snoring, the low rustle of someone rolling over on an air mattress. It was just the two of us, sitting close, the night thick and silent except for the fire. She didn't move away when her leg brushed mine. I didn't either. I felt the contact, noticed it, but I just sat there like a dumbass, staring at the coals like they had answers. "You ever think Kara's too serious?" Tessa asked, low and smooth, like we were sharing some secret. I blinked, caught off guard. "Serious how?" She tilted her head toward me, her voice dropping even lower. "I don't know. Just feels like you're always watching what you say around her. Always on edge. With me, you can just be." I huffed a laugh. "She just likes things a certain way." Tessa smiled like she knew something I didn't. "You deserve someone who makes you laugh, who doesn't stress you out every second." I should have shut it down right there. I should have told her to knock it off, get some sleep, whatever. But I didn't. I just sat there, tired, buzzed, heart still twisted from watching Kara storm off. "Guess you get me," I said, more to the fire than to her. She leaned in before I even finished the sentence. Her lips were on mine like it was the most natural thing in the world. And the worst part? I kissed her back. I didn't stop it. Not even for a second. My brain was screaming, but my body didn't listen. It felt wrong and weird and electric and stupid all at once. Her hand slid up my neck. I didn't push it away. Her breath was hot, tasted like cinnamon whiskey. I was too far gone to think straight. Then, a voice behind us. One word. "Jason." I froze. I turned just in time to see Kara standing there, holding a flashlight. Her face looked hollow in the beam, eyes wide, mouth open. She didn't say anything else. Didn't scream or cry. She just stood there, flashlight slipping from her hand and hitting the ground with a dull thud. Then she ran. Not walked. Not turned away slowly. She bolted into the woods, flashlight beam flipping wildly until it disappeared completely. Shit! I jumped up, nearly tripping over the log. My heart was hammering so hard I thought I might pass out. Kara! Tessa stood too, stunned. Wait, Jason! I shoved past her, already running into the trees. Branches slapped my arms. My shoes slid on pine needles. I didn't care. Kara! Wait! No answer. Just the sound of me crashing through the woods like a lunatic. I had no idea where she went. I didn't even think she knew the trails that well. We'd only been there once before, months ago. My breath was ragged, panic swallowing the last bit of alcohol in my system. I didn't even glance back at Tessa. I didn't need to. I already knew what happened. I'd just blown up my life for nothing. For a kiss that never should have happened, with someone who wasn't mine, while the woman I was supposed to marry watched it happen in real time. I stumbled out into a clearing, looked around. Nothing but trees and silence. The fire was distant now, a faint glow behind me. No Kara. No flashlight. I turned in circles, calling her name again. My voice cracked. I could feel the cold sweat building down my back. After what felt like forever, I gave up and walked back toward camp. My legs felt numb. My chest was tight. I kept thinking she'd pop out, yell at me, slap me, cry, something. But there was nothing. I came back to find Tessa sitting alone on the same damn log, her arms wrapped around her knees. She saw, didn't she? She asked, her voice flat. I didn't answer. I just sat on a rock a few feet away, elbows on my knees, head in my hands. Neither of us said anything for a long time. And I knew, deep down, nothing would ever be the same again. I didn't sleep, just sat there in the dirt, head pounding, watching the fire fade into cold ash while the sky turned pale behind the trees. Right before sunrise, I spotted her. Kara, standing by her truck with her arms crossed, still wearing that oversized hoodie, hair pulled back, face stone cold. I got up too fast, stumbling over my own feet. Kara, I called out, voice hoarse, legs barely working. Please, can we talk? She didn't answer, didn't look at me. I jogged over, still half drunk, still stupid enough to think I could fix it with a damn conversation. She opened the truck door and climbed in. I reached for the handle, but she slammed the lock down before I could grab it. Kara, just talk to me. I knocked once on the window. She stared straight ahead, hands on the wheel, jaw locked tight. I knocked again, harder this time. Please. I didn't mean for any of it to happen like that. Nothing. The engine roared to life. She backed out fast, tires kicking up gravel, and peeled down the dirt road without so much as a glance in the mirror. I stood there like a damn ghost, covered in smoke and sweat and shame, watching the dust settle around me. By the time I walked back into camp, the sun was creeping up, casting long shadows over the tents. A couple people were already stirring. I saw Darren unzip his tent and stretch, confused as hell. Tessa was still on the log by the fire pit, hugging her knees, eyes puffy. What the hell happened last night? Darren asked. I didn't answer, just dropped down next to the fire pit and stared at the ground. Tessa finally spoke, voice cracked. She saw us. Darren blinked. What? She saw us kiss, she said, barely above a whisper. It was a mistake. I didn't mean. It wasn't just you. I snapped, louder than I intended. I kissed you back. Don't try to pin this like you tripped and fell into my mouth. She flinched. I didn't say that. You're calling it a mistake like it just happened. We let it happen. No one said anything after that. You could hear birds chirping and a zipper closing from one of the tents, but nobody talked to us. They all knew something had gone down. Maybe not the details, but enough to feel the tension in the air. Everyone packed up fast. The group vibe had died a brutal death. I watched our friends avoid looking at me, saw one girl whisper something to her boyfriend while staring at Tessa. No one asked if we needed a ride. I stayed behind with her. Couldn't face the drive yet. Couldn't face the silence of my apartment. My phone didn't stop buzzing. Missed calls, texts, one after the other, all from Kara. I opened a few. I can't believe you. Tell me I didn't just see what I think I saw. Don't come home. I didn't reply. What could I say? She saw it. All of it. By the time I finally left the campsite, my head was pounding from the hangover and the guilt. I didn't even say goodbye to Tessa. Just got in my car and drove, the pit in my stomach growing heavier with every mile. When I walked into our apartment, the first thing I noticed was the silence. No music playing from her side of the bedroom. No coffee smell. No shoes by the door. Her dresser drawers were empty. Half the closet was gone. The little cactus she kept in the window, gone. On the kitchen counter was a single folded piece of paper. No envelope. No drawn-out letter. Just 10 words. Don't contact me. I'll send someone for the ring. I stood there for a long time, holding that note, wondering how the hell I managed to destroy everything in a single night. I looked around the apartment, our apartment, and for the first time it didn't feel like home. It felt like a place I didn't belong anymore. I didn't sleep much that week. Barely ate. Just stared at the walls and tried to figure out how the hell I let my life fall apart in one night. Every text from Kara stayed unread. I didn't deserve to respond. But there was one conversation I couldn't avoid any longer. I needed answers. Not apologies. Not comfort. Just the damn truth. So I texted Tessa, "Diner off 97. Friday. Noon." She showed up late. Wore sunglasses even though it was overcast. Sat across from me in a booth like she didn't know if she should hug me or cry. I didn't say a word at first. Let her order coffee, stir in her sugar, pretend like this wasn't the most awkward moment of both our lives. Finally, she spoke. "I didn't plan it, Jason." I leaned back. "Didn't plan what exactly? Getting drunk and throwing yourself at your best friend's fiancé?" Her face dropped. "It wasn't like that." "No." I laughed once, bitter. "You leaned in. You kissed me. You talked shit about Kara. You knew what you were doing." She swallowed hard, kept her voice low. "I've always liked you, okay? I didn't mean for it to happen, but it wasn't random. I've had feelings for you for a while." My stomach turned. "So what? You waited until she was pissed off and stormed away, then made your move? You think I planned that?" She shot back. "I was drunk. You were drunk. And you kissed me back, Jason. Don't act like I tricked you." I didn't flinch. "I'm not putting it all on you. I fucked up. I know that. But don't sit here and act like it wasn't manipulative as hell." She looked away, jaw tight. "You think I feel good about this?" "I don't care how you feel," I said. "I lost her. And you? You lost her too. Over what? One sloppy kiss?" She didn't respond. Just sat there, tapping her nails against the side of her mug. We stayed in silence for a while. The waitress came by, refilled our coffees. Neither of us touched them. Finally, Tessa whispered, "I ruined my friendship for nothing." I nodded slowly. "Yeah, you did." She wiped her cheek with the sleeve of her jacket. "I was stupid." I didn't disagree. She looked at me one last time. "Is there any chance this could mean something between us?" I shook my head. "No, not now. Not ever." Her mouth trembled like she wanted to argue, but she didn't. She just grabbed her purse and slid out of the booth. I watched her walk out with her shoulders hunched and her face hidden behind those dumb sunglasses. I didn't go after her. I didn't go back to work. Didn't answer texts. Didn't even bother opening the blinds. The days blurred together. Stale takeout containers, empty whiskey bottles, and whatever crap was playing on TV that I wasn't really watching. I slept on the couch most nights. Couldn't bring myself to go into the bedroom. Her absence was loud in there, like it was mocking me. I don't know how long I let it go on, but eventually someone pounded on my door loud enough to pull me out of the fog. "Open up, man. I swear to God, I'll kick this door in." It was Darren. I cracked the door just enough to see his face, then turned and walked back inside without saying anything. He followed me in like he owned the place. "Jesus, you smell like regret and rotten Doritos. Don't start," I mumbled, collapsing back onto the couch. He didn't listen. Darren never did. "You fucked up. We all know it. You know it. Hell, Kara sure as hell knows it. But this cave troll routine? That's not it, man." I rubbed my face. Couldn't even argue. He was right. I felt like shit. I was shit. You've been hiding in here like you're dead. But you're not. And unless you want to stay the asshole who blew up his own life, you need to do something. I looked up. Like what? He tossed a clean towel at me. Start by showering. Then write her a letter. A letter. Not to get her back. Just own it. Tell her everything. No excuses. No begging. Just the damn truth. I stared at him, half sure he was messing with me. But he wasn't. He meant it. That night, after I showered and scraped 3 days' worth of stubble off my face, I sat down at the kitchen table with a legal pad and a pen. No music. No distractions. Just me and the weight of what I'd done. I didn't sugarcoat it. I wrote about how I'd stood by the fire like an idiot. How I didn't move away when Tessa touched me. How I leaned into the attention like a weak little coward. I wrote about the kiss. How I didn't stop it. How I convinced myself Kara would never find out. I wrote until my hand cramped. Every dumb moment. Every time I should have walked away and didn't. Every second I wished I could take back. When I was done, I folded the pages, slid them into an envelope, and stared at it for a long time. I didn't have Kara's new place. Didn't know if she was even in town anymore. But I remembered her dad's address. She used to get packages sent there when we first moved in together. I grabbed my keys and drove straight to the post office. Dropped the letter in the box without thinking twice. No return address. No expectation. Just the truth finally out of me and into her hands. A week later, I was half passed out on the couch when my phone buzzed. One new text. From a number I'd stopped expecting to see. Meet me at the lake tomorrow. Noon. 1 hour. No punctuation. No name. But I knew it was her. My chest locked up just reading it. I didn't sleep that night. My thoughts ran in circles, what she'd say, how bad it would get, if she was just meeting me to return the ring to my face. I paced the apartment until sunrise, then sat at the table and rehearsed what I'd say out loud like a damn lunatic. Noon couldn't come fast enough. I drove out to the lake early, parked, and just sat there in the truck staring at the water until my nerves almost made me drive away. But I didn't. She was already there when I stepped out. Standing at the edge of the dock, hands in the pockets of her hoodie, wind pulling her hair around her face. She didn't turn when I approached. I walked up slow, not sure if I should speak first. Kara. She didn't look at me. You've got 1 hour. That hit harder than I expected. But I nodded. Okay. The air felt too quiet, like the lake knew we weren't here for peace. I got your letter, she said. I swallowed hard. I meant every word. She finally turned to face me. Her expression was calm, unreadable. And honestly, that was worse than if she'd come at me swinging. I would have known what to do with yelling. But this scared the hell out of me. I didn't come to hear excuses, she said flatly. There aren't any, I told her. No excuse. It was a drunk mistake. The worst kind. And I'll regret it for the rest of my life. She nodded once, slowly. So it meant nothing? Nothing. She stared straight at me. Did you ever love her? The question hit like a punch I didn't see coming. I looked her in the eye. No, not for a second. Her eyes didn't change. Still calm. Still unreadable. She crossed her arms, shifted her weight, then looked out at the lake again like she needed space even while standing right next to me. Why did you kiss her, Jason? I ran a hand over my face. I wish I had some deep answer, but I don't. I was drunk. I was mad at you. I was stupid. She was there. She made it easy to ignore what I already knew, that you're the only one who ever actually mattered. She didn't flinch, but I saw her jaw tighten. You know what hurt the most? She said, voice low. It wasn't the kiss. It was the fact that you didn't come after me right away. You stayed with her. I had no defense. I know. I messed that up worse than anything. Silence stretched again. I thought I knew you, she said finally. I felt my throat close up. I thought I knew myself. She glanced at her watch. You've got 10 minutes. I didn't come here to ask you to take me back, I said. I just needed to say it to your face. That I'm sorry. That I'll carry this with me no matter what you decide. She nodded again. No tears. No screaming. Just that same calm I couldn't read. She turned and started walking back down the dock. I didn't follow. She didn't leave. Not really. Kara walked off the dock, but stopped a few feet from the gravel trail, arms crossed again, facing the trees. I stood there waiting, not moving, not saying anything. After maybe a minute, she looked back over her shoulder. Bench? I followed her without a word. We sat down side by side on the old wooden bench overlooking the lake. Same spot we used to come to on lazy Sunday afternoons. Now it felt like sitting in front of a firing squad. The silence between us was heavy. She sat with her hands in her lap, fingers twitching like she was holding back 1,000 words. When did it start? She asked finally, eyes locked on the water. I blinked. What? With her. Were there signs I missed? I shook my head fast. No. No signs. Nothing before that night. It wasn't a thing building up. It wasn't anything. Just chaos. Bad judgment. Stupid decisions. She didn't look convinced. You sure? Positive. I never thought about her like that. Not once. I was drunk, insecure, pissed off. And she leaned in and I didn't push her away. That's all it was. No build-up. No hidden thing. Just me screwing up in the worst way possible. She nodded slowly, still not looking at me. I felt like an idiot, she said. Like the whole trip was a setup. Like I was the last one to figure it out. It wasn't, I said quickly. I swear to God, Kara, it wasn't like that. Her voice cracked, just a little. Everyone saw me drive off crying. Everyone saw you two sitting by the fire the next morning like nothing happened. I stayed because I didn't know where to go. I was ashamed. I wasn't with her, not like that. I was just frozen. I didn't want to face you. She scoffed. Yeah, well, I didn't get that luxury. I had to face it head on. Everyone wanted to know what happened. I had people texting me like I was the one who did something wrong. I looked at her, guilt tightening my chest. I lost everything that night. Your trust. The life we were building. It wasn't worth it. It never could have been. She finally turned to face me. Do you even realize how much that one moment wrecked me? I do now, I said. And I'll carry that, whether you forgive me or not. She studied my face for a second. I didn't flinch. I wanted her to see everything in my eyes. The guilt, the regret, the desperation not to make this worse than it already was. You do counseling? She asked. On your own? With me? Yes, I said immediately. Whatever it takes. She nodded like she was expecting me to say that, but still needed to hear it. It's not gonna be easy. I'm not expecting easy. She let out a shaky breath. I don't even know if I want to fix it, but I can't ignore that part of me still wants to try. I'll show up, even if it doesn't change anything. I'll still show up. She looked at the lake again, and this time, I didn't rush to fill the silence. We just sat there side by side in the aftermath. The first therapy session was brutal. We sat in a small beige office that smelled like peppermint and dust, facing a woman with a notepad and kind eyes that made me feel like I was about to get dissected. Kara barely spoke at first. Arms crossed, voice flat. She wasn't there to heal, not yet. She was there to see if I'd show up. And I did. Every week. At first, I thought I'd just have to say I was sorry a bunch of times, explain how the kiss happened, cry a little, and maybe she'd start to let her guard down. But it didn't work like that. The therapist, Sharon, didn't let me off easy. Every time I tried to defend myself, I didn't mean it. It was just one time. It wasn't like I planned it. She'd cut me off. Say that again, she'd say, but without justifying it. And I'd sit there, jaw clenched, fighting the instinct to explain. Eventually, I stopped talking and started listening. That's when Kara finally opened up. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was quiet, controlled, like she'd been carrying this shit for years and was finally laying it down, piece by piece. I felt alone, even before the kiss, she said one session, eyes on the floor. I planned our weekends. I paid the bills on time. I made sure your mom got a birthday card. You were there, but I was always the one holding everything together. I wanted to interrupt, say that wasn't true. But Sharon gave me a look, and I stayed quiet. I used to tell myself you were just distracted, that once we got married, you'd be more present. But deep down, I think I knew I was settling for someone who only half showed up. That hit harder than any fight we'd ever had. Because she was right. The cheating was just the explosion. The real damage started way before that night by the fire. I went home from that session and sat in the truck for almost an hour. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat there, realizing how blind I'd been. From then on, I stopped trying to fix what we had. I started trying to understand it, or more honestly, rebuild something new from scratch. We changed how we talked. No more brushing things off. No more pretending things were fine. If one of us was pissed, we said it. If one of us felt off, we didn't swallow it. It wasn't pretty. There were weeks where she barely looked at me. Sessions where she called me out in front of the therapist so hard I wanted to disappear. But I kept showing up. After about 4 months, she started texting me again. Not just therapy logistics, real stuff. A photo of her dog. A link to a song we used to play in the kitchen. Small things, but they mattered. Then one weekend, she stayed over. Said it was just easier than driving home after our Friday session. She slept on the couch. The next weekend, she stayed again. We talked until 2 in the morning. She asked me how I'd felt the day she left, really felt. Not the surface level I messed up crap, but the gut-deep shame and fear underneath it. I told her everything. By month 6, she started staying over more weekends than not. Her toothbrush showed up in the bathroom again. Her cereal was back in the cabinet. She didn't move back in. Not yet. But the silence between us was gone. We weren't what we were before. And honestly, we never would be. But somehow that was okay. I was standing at pump 4, half zoned out, waiting for the tank to fill when I heard a voice behind me. Jason. I turned and there she was. Tessa. First time I'd seen her in over 8 months. She looked different. Not bad, just worn. Her hair was shorter, face a little thinner. Eyes still sharp, but softer somehow. Like life had knocked her down a few times since the last time we spoke. I gave a tight nod. Hey. She glanced at her car. Older sedan, back seat full of fast food bags and a booster seat I hadn't expected. Then back at me. Didn't expect to run into you out here. Yeah, me either, I said. You still in town? Just passing through, she said, then paused. You look good. Better, been working on that. She smiled a little. Good. We stood there in the kind of silence that only comes after wreckage. Not angry anymore, just kind of hollow. Nothing left to pick at. How's Kara? She asked finally. She's doing all right. Tessa nodded like that was all she needed to hear. Then she looked down, fiddled with her keys and said, I'm sorry again. For everything. That. I looked her in the eye. I hope you're doing better. She seemed surprised. Thanks. I am. Took me a while to pull myself together, but yeah, getting there. We didn't rehash the past. Didn't talk about the kiss or the fallout or what it cost us both. There was no point. After a second, we both stepped back toward our cars. Take care of yourself, Jason, she said, reaching for her door. You too. She gave me one last look. Not regretful, not hopeful. Just done. And that was it. That night, I sat down across from Kara at the kitchen table and told her. I ran into Tessa today. Kara didn't freeze. Didn't tense up. Just raised an eyebrow and waited. We didn't talk long, I said. She apologized. I told her I hoped she was doing okay. That's it. Kara nodded slowly, took a sip from her tea. Thanks for telling me. No more secrets, I said. Right? And we left it there. A few weeks later, she moved back in. No big announcement. No Instagram-worthy moment. Just a Saturday morning with a few boxes and a quiet, hey, can you help me carry this? She unpacked slow, piece by piece. Her books went back on the shelf. Her favorite blanket back on the couch. Her toothbrush in the holder next to mine again. We didn't say anything about it. Just let the space fill up with her stuff again. like the place had been waiting for her the whole time. We still had bad days. Days where she'd go quiet or I'd get defensive without meaning to. But the difference was we didn't pretend anymore. If something was wrong, we said it. If one of us needed space, we gave it. No walking on eggshells, no guessing games. It wasn't romantic. It was real. One night, we were sitting on the porch after dinner. Crickets buzzing. Lights off. Just us and the sound of the neighbor's dog barking at nothing. She was curled up in the chair next to me, wearing that same hoodie she wore the night at the lake. She pulled something out of the front pocket and held it out in her palm. The ring. I kept it, she said. I stared at it for a second. That stupid little diamond felt heavier than anything I'd ever held. You want me to take it back? She shook her head. I'm giving it back. Then she paused, looked me straight in the eye. But if you ever ask again, it better be a different ring. And you'll have to earn a new yes. I didn't smile. I didn't crack a joke. I just nodded. No pressure, I said. Good, she said, half smiling. Because I'm not making it easy. We sat there for a while in the dark. No hand-holding. No big romantic kiss. Just breathing the same air and letting it feel normal again. We weren't who we used to be. We weren't even close to perfect. But we were trying. And for now, that was enough. Would you have taken him back after what happened at the campfire? Drop your answer in the comments. We want to hear your take. And if you're still listening, don't forget to like and subscribe for more real stories.